This month has been crazy for offensive security, or OffSec should I say. Anyway, so they've changed their logo and made a ton of improvements on their design. They also released the purple version of Kali Linux, and that's pretty interesting. But most importantly, they've updated the Oscp again. But this time I think that you might be very impressed, so let me show you. So if you navigate to OffSec's website, you'll see this link up here for you to check what's new about the Oscp and the new PEN 200 course. But yeah, if this link disappears, you can just scroll down and come here to the left. You'll see this blog post and you can just click on that and it will get you to the same page. Now, PEN 200 PWK updated for 2023. So this is pretty interesting. I mean, this first part here, it's not really that significant, I would say. You have a little bit of changes regarding the structure of the course materials, and you can check that pretty much for yourself. But this is where things start getting a little bit interesting. So this is a very high level syllabus of the new course. So if you're reading this with some attention to detail, you'll find that some of the main course topics, they're just disappeared. So you cannot see buffer overflows here anymore. You cannot see command line fun and other stuff. So you'll see why in a bit. There are some modules from the current version of PEN 200 that appear to be missing. Yep. And there are new modules included here that aren't part of the current version of the PEN 200. Yes. Now, which models are out? As you can see, and I was just telling you about this, command line fun is gone, the buffer overflows are gone, file transfers, PowerShell Empire, practical tools, bash scripting. So what happened was that most of these modules went to other libraries. So you will not see them anymore on the PEN 200 course. 5 modules, so these ones here, were just moved to the Network Penetration Testing Essentials, previously PEN 100. Now, if you're curious about the buffer overflows, now this is pretty interesting. You have to read this. I'm even making this bigger so you guys can see. Check this out. While we firmly believe that basic exploit development provides an excellent metal toolset for penetration testers, we also recognize that in 2023, it's unlikely that vanilla buffer overflows will play a significant role in most penetration tests. And this is true. Okay, so I think this actually makes sense. They are trying to make the certification a little bit more Active Directory, network pen testing focused, and also, of course, having the web application security things also over there. That's interesting. Now, which models are in? If you're curious and if you're more of a visual learner, I think you will find this image much more interesting than just reading all of that above. So you can see that these 5 topics here, these 5 modules for around here, and also these file transfers down here, they just went moved to the 100 level library. Now, these 3 modules about the buffer overflows were moved as well. Yeah, the PowerShell Empire was also moved, as we see before. And here, if you follow these purplish arrows, you can see how the new models are now set up for the new version. Now, this here will be the most important change in my opinion. I mean, this is amazing, amazing. So you can see that offensive security is telling you, we recognize that learners today prefer to have exclusive access to machines so that they do not get interference from other learners. In addition, the open lab environment can be especially intimidating to new learners who haven't had significant exposure to penetration testing before. So for that reason, every learner will receive access to their own environment. Within that environment, the learner can start sets of machines, called challenge labs, that are designed to help the learner work through particular penetration testing problems. As a learner progresses through the challenges, they will encounter progressively more difficult and more varied sets of machines with greater complexity and dependencies. Alright, so this sounds amazing. So it appears to me that you will now have this private lab instance whenever you just boot up a machine, which is great. I remember that it used to be a big issue for a lot of people that were trying to root a machine, and someone would just revert it or just like throw a bunch of exploits randomly at it, and the machine would be unusable. It would have to be reverted again, and things would just not work, and you didn't even know if it was because of something you were doing wrong or if it was because another student were trying to like throw different exploits at the same machine. And so yeah, it was challenging. So now this is very, very good news. It looks like this is a good step in the right way. So now as for the exam itself isn't going to change directly as a result of these updates, except in two regards. Of course, the buffer overflow and the exam bonus points. All right, so for the buffer overflows, this is pretty self-explanatory. So they removed them from the course, and so you won't be getting them on your exam anymore. Now, as far as the bonus point goes, I think they've talked about this already, but yeah, so basically you have to complete at least 80% of the exercises from each module and submit at least 30 proof.txt from the Pen 200 2023 lab machines, which is great. Now, take your time if you're already enrolled in your Oscp studies to read through all of these scenarios right here, because you probably have started doing your report, or you're probably doing the lab exercises in a different way, not on their platform. But so feel free to read this and see which scenario applies to you to make sure you get those free 10 bonus points. All right, and then here we have the phase release plan. And yeah, this is just like the dates for when students are going to get access to the new materials, the new lab environment. And yeah, so feel free to read through this and see which scenario applies to you. And that's pretty much it. I'm very, very excited for these changes, because I mean, having the chance to have a private lab instance for every machine you try to boot, and having that like certainty that if things are not working, it's probably something you're doing wrong, or something that you should be doing differently, or you're probably not trying as hard as you can, the try harder thing. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a step in the right direction. Again, removing the buffer overflows, now you're sure that you're not going to get it through your exam, and having this pen testing certification like the Oscp being more focused on Active Directory, network pen testing, and web application security, I think it's a very good decision, because this is most of the work you actually do if you work as a penetration tester. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think this is a very good thing that Offensive Security, now OffSec, is doing, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts. So make sure you share those in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!